your name? What's your name? Danielle what?
This is Danielle Dauphinais, a mother who reports her 5-year-old son missing, but she soon realizes that her own statement will reveal the deeply troubling truth she's been trying to hide. When detectives sit her down, they're not chasing footprints. They're piecing together phone data, timelines, and stories that keep changing. And they're realizing something nobody wants to believe. Sometimes the harm isn't outside. It's the person who kisses the child goodnight. Before we jump in, just a quick heads up. This is a real case involving a 5-year-old boy, Elijah Lewis. No graphic footage here, but some details may feel heavy. So if you need a break at any point, totally okay. Take your time. So the opening scene takes place in a tiny interrogation room with the detective sitting directly across from Danielle.
So tell me about Elijah and what you understand of why we're here to talk about Elijah.
Because he's missing.
And the first thing they say is basically, okay, tell us about Elijah. The little boy, she says, is missing.
We have never ever hurt that little boy. We love that little boy no matter what.
But here's the thing. Months later, she finally admits what investigators had suspected from the start. Her answers go all over the place, and she's super defensive, and from the very first minute, it sounds less like a mother searching for her child and more like someone trying to protect herself. This is the case of Elijah Lewis, a bright 5-year-old whose short life, investigators say, was marked by struggles and hardship. Elijah did not survive through 2021, and investigators say Danielle and her boyfriend Joe are the ones responsible. Elijah was only 5, but what they've learned about his life in that basement apartment in Merrimack, New Hampshire with Danielle and Joe sounds like a nightmare. Addiction in the home, constant instability. After Danielle gave birth to a baby, they surrendered the child to the hospital under the safe haven law. It was then that Elijah was discovered missing and the investigation into his whereabouts began. Police locate Danielle and Joe in New York City.
Why are you guys roughing me up? I'm not resisting. She's double up. Just let him down as soon as we take him out. Come on.
What's your name? What's your name? Danielle what?
Danielle looks shocked, almost like she didn't expect this moment to come.
Babe, I love you. I don't know what the is going on. What's going on? Okay. Who's coming?
What?
Who's coming to pick us up? Who's coming to pick us up?
Whatever he said, I had no idea either. Sorry.
What detectives say follows is beyond anything they expected. A pattern of severe harmful experiences and failure of care, prolonged deprivation, and verbal harmful behavior toward her own child. Searches show past addresses, social handles, and charges, including in harming children and second-degree unlawful fatality. The price for her actions could be a lifetime behind bars, all starting with the loss of life of Elijah Truthfinder. Back at the station, Danielle and Joe are separated for interviews.
So I'm sure you have a lot of questions for us, and we have some questions for you.
Absolutely.
But before we jump into that, it's really important that we go through some paperwork and that I inform you of your rights. You understand that?
Yeah.
October 17, 2021, just 10 days after she gave birth to the new baby, Danielle is in a New York police station, sitting in a small room, and detectives finally start asking about Elijah.
So tell me about Elijah and what you understand of why we're here to talk about Elijah.
Because he's missing.
Okay, what can you tell me about that?
Okay, so Elijah, when I got Elijah back in May 26th of 2020.
Okay.
And his dad just like literally drove across the
in the United States and just dropped him off to me. He's a very, very troubled child. He has a lot of mental issues. Elijah likes to sneak out of the house. So we have a slider door. And I don't know if you guys have been there.
I have, yeah.
So you've been to my house. So
Yes.
Have you felt the slider door, the wiggly handle?
I didn't touch the handle.
Okay,
no.
so the slider door doesn't lock, doesn't
Okay.
latch. He likes to sneak out while we sleep. He wanders while we sleep. He's a wandering little boy. So he's done that so many times. We would wake up and we'll find him. He'll come back in. He'll wake up, come back in, whatever.
She calls Elijah troubled, says he had mental issues, and claims he liked to sneak out at night through a slider door that didn't latch. The picture she's trying to paint is simple. Sunday is difficult, unpredictable, and one day he wandered off and didn't come back. Then she shifts to herself and Joe. Then she acknowledges substance misuse. She admits they started using substances again, and she directly connects that decision to Elijah. Danielle said started using again.
Well, Joe and I started using drugs again. We were in active addiction.
Okay. When did that happen?
I honestly don't remember.
So are we talking
When I was pregnant.
months ago,
Yeah.
years ago?
Months ago when I was pregnant with my son.
Shockingly, Danielle said she and Joe relapsed into substance misuse because Elijah was not easy to handle. She kept blaming Elijah.
Because Elijah is just so much to handle. He would touch our daughter in her private spots.
Okay.
She would hide knives under his bed, tacks under his bed. He would steal things from our kitchen, and he would just do a bunch of stuff that not a normal little boy would do. So we started we just fell off the train and just started using drugs. So in September, I don't know the date, I honestly don't know the date, but September, he decided to wander off again. And us being in active addiction and not wanting to lose our kids, we tried to find him. We looked for him and we're like, okay, well, he's gonna come back. He always came back. So we waited, he didn't come back, and we're freaking out. We're like, where's Elijah? Never came back.
Look at the moment she breaks down.
Would it be okay if I asked you some questions about that? Okay, take your time.
During the interview, Danielle told the detective that Elijah had sneaked out of the house about a dozen times.
If I wasn't using, I would have reported him missing, right away, but it sounds so up. I'm so sorry.
The detectives listened as Danielle told her story. They let her talk. They listened patiently, but probably didn't believe a word of it. Right now, their only priority was finding Elijah.
Well, tell me, so when did he go missing?
I don't know when. We were sleeping.
Okay.
So we don't know when he went missing.
No, I mean like a date or a day.
Oh, I don't.
or
Oh, God. Dates don't register when
Okay.
they're using.
Was it summertime?
No, it was September.
It was September.
Okay. Yeah, this was right before. Yeah, he was excited that we were having our baby and everything. He was so excited that the baby was coming because we were so
Okay.
close to delivery.
Walk me through it sequentially. So you
I'm
see
trying.
know.
It's obviously I came back in and I took the stuff and I went and got high because I was freaking out. So it's all a blur.
The detectives know, even if she won't say it, that this isn't a standard missing kid case. They already suspect Elijah is no longer alive. As the interview continues, Danielle tries to shift the focus to Elijah's supposed self-injury risk.
So he'd be poking himself with a tacks, and what other self-harming behaviors would he do?
He would scratch his throat. His dad, the first time I FaceTimed him. He had scratches on him. Like, what happened to your throat, buddy? And like he would, Tim did not tell me any of his behaviors before I took on him. If I knew all these behaviors, I would have made sure I had stuff lined up for him to, you know, I'm not gonna take on a child that has mental health issues and not have anything for him. You know, that just does not make logical sense.
Yeah.
And he didn't say that. He just said he might be autistic.
Okay.
And this is not autistic. I have an autistic nephew who is, but yeah, he would scratch.
Okay.
He would sit there and bite his arms. He would, what else did he do? He would like slap him in his, like do weird stuff. Like I just didn't like, I couldn't, I needed him out of my house. I needed him out to get help. Not that I didn't love him and want him. I loved him, I love him so much. I just needed him to get help. And I was just watching him suffer and I couldn't do anything. You know what I mean? I couldn't do nothing.
Then she moves to her own state of mind.
I was depressed.
Okay.
I never left a house.
Okay.
We never left a house. Never left a house with,
Yeah, that's
I
a
felt
lot.
like a prisoner in my house.
Sure.
Almost a year I haven't left my house. The only time I left my house is now. Haven't left my house since.
Wow. Do you drive?
No.
Okay. And you don't have a car, you don't drive. Okay. Yeah.
It's a
Sounds
lot.
overwhelming.
It was a lot. And I was scared because I was using drugs because I didn't know how to cope.
Okay.
If I wasn't using, like I would have reported him missing like right away, but it sounds so f***ed up. I'm so sorry.
Danielle complains about fights with Joe, money problems, stress, and the arrival of a new baby.
Our relationship was definitely going downhill because of this.
Okay. So you're home all day with the kids. Elijah's behaviors are escalating. You're stressed out and pregnant. And then your marriage or relationship, you're not married, right?
No.
Your relationship is stressed out because of this. Sounds like your living situation is stressed out because of this, where to the extent that Joe's mom was saying she wanted you guys gone. Where would you go if you weren't living there?
I mean, we would save up and get our own place.
Okay. Was that your plan?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So you were saving money for that?
Well, I mean, no, not necessarily because we had a drug problem.
Okay.
But we were actually gonna go to detox before we left. But then the hit the fan and I just got scared because we're using. And I didn't want to detox in jail.
Danielle continues to deny any involvement in Elijah's case, claiming the boy was simply obsessed with water, an explanation detectives doubted. He echoes the same story that Elijah somehow wandered out of the house, but when asked then where is he, she has no answer. Only more deflection. Maybe the woods, maybe the road, maybe someone took him? About a week later, the search ends in Massachusetts. Investigators locate a recovery location site inside a state park. The remains are confirmed to belong to Elijah Lewis. The autopsy report is disturbing. Evidence of physical injury, indicators, drug exposure, and severe nutritional deficiency. He has pressure sores. Evidence of prolonged failure of care. Prosecutors say he suffered prolonged deprivation and physical harm. Danielle Dauphinais is charged with first and second degree unlawful fatality charges. Joe's staff pleads guilty to involuntary unlawful fatality charges. Eventually, Danielle accepts a plea to second degree unlawful fatality, admitting responsibility for Elijah's loss of life. According to her lawyer, Danielle has a difficult past, having experienced harmful experiences since childhood. Digital evidence recovered from Danielle's phone reveals the truth she tried so hard to hide. In one, she writes, "He says he wants food and wants me to stop keeping him hungry because it's not nice." In another, "I'm going to lose control with this kid, Joe. He's screaming for water." Photos from her phone show the truth. Elijah's weakened condition, the signs of long-term failure of care visible to investigators. Finally, when all the secrets were exposed, what had been hidden behind closed doors became a wake-up call. There are no excuses enough to cover up the truth. A child was harmed by the very person who was supposed to protect him. If you find this story hard to believe, it's because we always hope such tragedies don't exist, but they do happen every day. You can be the one to help. If you suspect a child is being mistreated, call the Child Help National Hotline. They are available 24/7, confidential, and offer support in multiple languages. Don't be silent. One call can change a child's life. As this episode ends, please keep in mind that everything presented here reflects the best available evidence. We do not speculate, dramatize, or add to the record. What happened was documented in police files, court documents, and witness statements. The purpose of this video is to provide clear context, to understand how these events unfolded, and to respect the individuals involved, not to exploit their suffering for entertainment.